Yeah, it's been the first year as an assistant coach, so I'm doing all the defensive stuff here this year. So it's been a real great experience, and I'm happy to come back and be involved as a player. So it's been good to come back and be involved in such a professional program. Can't explain or can't probably try and tell people enough how important it is to get kids to be active from a really young age. Just so the kids can get into really good habits, and also just the promotion around the importance of eating healthy, obviously being physically active, and there's lots of ways of doing that, and joining clubs to get out and participate. So it's really important that you get into that sort of routine from a very young age to start being physically active. Oh, there's been plenty. Just in terms of the whole program in general, and how the Gippsland Power system here and what they do for the kids, and the professionalism that they do. And so yeah, it's a whole learning experience. Lee Brown's been excellent, and just learned so much from him, and also from the other assistant coaches. We all bounce off different ideas, so that's been a real experience, and game plans and structures and things like that. You just sort of don't see that in local footy. Yeah, 4 Indigenous boys that come onto the list this year, so yeah, they've had opportunities throughout the year, so it's been really good for them. For the 4 boys is Anthony Young, Dylan Proctor, Jai Rout, and Aaron Edwards. So they're the 4 boys that have been here this year. Join local clubs and play, and you come through that system, you'll be talent identified when you get to probably 13, 14 years of age for the 15s, and then you can potentially be in the TAC Gippsland Power system for 5 years potentially. So yeah, certainly start from there. Then you probably look into the Indigenous Kickstart programs with Darren Clark there as well. They certainly provide some opportunities for our Indigenous boys that are in and out of the system a little bit, so it's a way of tracking our Indigenous boys. And there's been some really good examples of boys that have still playing club footy, but really recognise the talent that they have, and so it's kind of a bit of a separate pathway for those boys, and keeping track and see where they're all at. There has been young Kyan Bundle was probably a good example. Had never been through a TAC system at all, hadn't been involved in any talent ID programs, and we certainly just ID'd him as a good kid, and he'd come through that program, and he ended up going on Casey Scorpions list for 12 months back in 2014, I think it was, 13, yeah. So that was certainly a good example of something like that that's come about for him, and he certainly loved the experience. That was the Rio Tinto AFL Football Means Business program. So that was for under 23-year-olds Indigenous boys, so 50 Aboriginal boys from all around Australia basically apply to be part of this program. So it's really about just their career in general, and certainly around employment and those opportunities for them. But football, I suppose, is a driver around that. So the first camp was over in Western Australia. So all those boys were flown in, and they're there for a whole week. So they do a lot of professional development. AFL Sports Ready come in and do some of that stuff around their resumes and just their own development, and help them, better to get themselves right for employment. And AFL Sports Ready certainly got lots of opportunities for them as well. So they offer that assistance to them. And during that week, the boys are training, and then it's split up into 2 teams, and then we played at the Indigenous round, which is the All Stars versus West Coast over there. So it was a really great experience. And then back in Melbourne, again for the Dreamtime game, so they played the curtain raiser there as well.